Okay, we're recording. Welcome, everybody. We are, this is our second week for Level Up, and I'm excited to have you all there. And Katie, if you want to start sharing screen, I will have you put our opening slide on.
Okie dokie.
There we go, yay. It's loading.
Buckle your seatbelts.
All right, here we are, Level Up Your Connections. Okay, Miss Katie. And I believe this is me. So we want to start out with reviewing where we ended last week. So this screen, it should be a reminder to those who were on last week. And if you joined us, we're glad that you did. And if you're brand new today to joining us, we're going to be meeting here like this every Monday night at 8 p.m. except for next Monday night is going to be everyone because it'll be our all team call, our May all team call. So we asked, what are you, we had some homework so that everybody will have a great paycheck on May 7th. We asked that you book 2 additional shows for April. The bullseye would be to starting this Friday. Text your director by Thursday night, which would have been last Thursday, and it would have been starting 4 on Friday when you have added your April parties. Now, we also ask that you continue to make contacts every single week, and minimum was 15 two-way contacts for last week, and the bullseye would have been 25 or 5 a day to yield more bookings. And you were supposed to send a picture to your director. Patty Moserino, could you send Nancy Joe the link for tonight? Do you mind getting a text?
No, I could get it.
Okay, that would be great. And then we had some homework for everybody to do. Look at the resources and training, share 3 to 5 takeaways from the training that you took from Dash, and we're going to ask that you increased your Dash points. And we asked everybody to note where they were at the end of that call and how much you increased your Dash points for this call. And you're supposed to join us for tonight. So if you want to change to the next, we're going to ask that you put that in the chat right now. So where are you? How many points did you increase in Dash this week? Let's go. I'm looking for your answers. $50. Angie did 50. Congratulations, Angie. Who else added to their Dash points this week? 140 PM. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm going to ask, can you either chat or unmute? What class did you take? Put it in chat, Pam. Put it in chat, Angie. What class did you guys take? Susan added, but she has no idea by how many. I think I added 100. Virtual training, she did several. Finished up virtual training, Angie said. Okay, one of the things that I'm gonna, Paula said she was at 3250 and now she's at 3450. Oh my gosh, and she did them all. Oh my God, let's give her a big round of applause. Let's give her a big round of applause. That is quite an accomplishment. So what aha moments did you take away from the Teach Me webinars and other resources? This is where you Okay, so this is interactive and you have to unmute. I'll tell you my takeaway. My takeaway was when you go to Dash, there's a thing called Resource Library. How many of you know where Resource Library is? Did you know Resource Library has a web and tech section? And when you click it, it's actually videos. How do you create a party? How do you add orders to a party? How do you close a party? Which is extremely critical. Like Susan, for your new people who just joined, they don't know how to do that. And it's a great little video from Mary, 770 points. Sammy, can you say something? I did the same thing as Kathy and listened to Danny's talk on system and was blown away. Sammy, can you unmute and tell me what you mean by that?
Yes,
Thank you.
my hair's all wind blown because in Houston it's super, super windy, but it's gorgeous. And we have only like 3 of those days a year. So we took advantage and went outside. So Danny Callentine had a chat, I want to say from last summer, that you guys had posted on the PC team training website, which I have been completely hooked on these last couple of weeks. And even just when I'm doing the dishes or I'm folding laundry, I have those talks on. And I got to tell you, I've been blown away with some of the things that they've been talking about. And just her discussion on systems and the things that she has in place using Google tools like Google Forms and Google Sheets and how she organizes, even just everything from her own personal parties that she does to her director, you know, just all from every aspect imaginable. And it was just very, it was very good, and it was very replicatable. Is that the word? You could replicate it. Sorry, it's late and it's Monday. And so, and all of the links and everything are right under the video, which is great. So I thank you guys for that because that's fantastic.
Oh, wait, Marie, I'm going to butt in for just a second here. If I were you guys, listen up, everybody. I would do exactly what this girl says, because I'll tell you why. Is right now she's sitting at over 15,000 personal sales for this month. And that's right, people. And team sales of almost 18,452. She is one more person away from promoting to director. One more that has to submit. One more, Miss Sammy, girl.
She has 2 active parties right now, Patty, so it's going to happen April 30th.
Girl. Yay!
That is fantastic.
So, yeah. Danny Callentine it is, people.
Yes.
Okay, so we asked you to watch the Teach Me webinars. We showed you PC team training. You are getting a testimony from somebody who did her homework. And look at what happens. A week can make a huge difference. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else want to share? Okay. Then I think I'm turning it over to Cassie.
All right, guys, I hope that might freezing, so I hope that it's all working okay. Can you guys all hear me okay?
There you are.
Yes, you're coming through just fine, Cassie. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So, you guys, I'm Cassie, and I just want to tell you a little bit about myself really quick. I have been with the Pampered Chef for about 10 years, and I live a crazy blessed life is what we call it. I have 3 kids. I have twins that are 4 and a 6-year-old. And I teach part-time. So life is very crazy right now, trying to teach my kids while also teaching online to my students. And so I just want to tell you, at the beginning of April, I had like 1 virtual party on my calendar. And I will be honest, I was in tears talking to my husband about it because I had a full calendar with in-home parties. I do a little bit of both, but I a lot of times supplement with virtuals. So I figured out though, I really just needed to make a plan and not an excuse. So many excuses we could make right now, and I decided I needed to make a plan. So I started to make contacts. And I'm going to be honest with you, I became pretty discouraged at that time. There were a lot of no's, but there were some maybe in the future. There were some just not right now. So I wrote those in my calendar so I know to check back in. But my biggest thing was I reached out to a friend and she, yep, let's do a party. So we did it. And then I also got another booking from one of my, so I had 2 parties going at one time. And I knew that I needed to basically make sure that those parties were, and a lot of good recipes and kind of more of a service of what people need right now. So throughout that, I made a lot of contacts in those parties, and I actually walked away with 5 bookings from those. And with those, I had parties that were between $750 and $1,300. So, and I kept getting bookings. So every week after that, I had 5 parties that I do in a block party going. But I just have to tell you guys, like, you can't give an excuse. You need to keep working and keep pushing it and make those contacts. Don't get discouraged, because right now I am standing at about $8,000 personal sale, and our team has well over 30,000 right now. And so don't be down on yourself. Just go out there and make those contacts. I do want to show you guys a trick. So comment in the chats if you do a reply as a message in your group, in your parties. And I'm going to show you how. I'm going to share my screen. Oh, Katie, can you turn your screen share? Thank you. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Okay.
Yes, we're seeing your screen. Thanks.
All right, so you guys, this is what you'd call the old Facebook. This is what we're all used to, right? Facebook used to have a message button when people would make comments that you could hit message and reply to them. And that way they would be able to see it, and you could start a conversation based on what they commented. Well, now you have to go into the new Facebook. So you guys may not even know that this is such a thing. And I'm going to be honest, I only use it for this because you know how it is when you get something new, it's like, where's this, where's that? And so I just use it for that. You see, I call this a carrot at school, but it's really a triangle. But we're going to go down, we're going to switch to new Facebook. Give it a second, or
You're
maybe a few more.
teaching all of us something new right now, Cassie.
Yay! So this is the new Facebook, you guys. Sometimes when I'm patient, I do go on it and just mess around, because we all know that this is probably going to be coming. But if you look and you scroll down in the party, so this, all I'm going to do is this part. So let's say these are some comments that just happened. As long as the comments are within 7 days, you'll have a message button. So I could hit this message button right here, and you see it's going to show her what she commented on. And then I can write my message there, and she's going to see it. So D for this meant that she's already put her order in. And so I could easily just message back and say, hey, Amanda, thank you for your order. You know, something simple, and go through. The party was booked from her. So that's why I'm like hesitant on what I'm going to say. But I would say, if it was anybody else, Amanda, thank you for ordering from your friend's party. Your friend also gets a half price item at each party booked. So if you would like to help her out further, would you be interested in having a party of your own? You could say something about it being fun, give them a recipe. It just kind of depends on where you're at in the party. But you see, I could do that for like all of these, you see, but it wasn't there in the old Facebook. But that's how I get responses all the time for those. I did that in the one party, and I would probably say that like 5 out of 6 people responded. And so it's a good way because they're in the party, they're active, and you're just going to respond to them. So that is my tip. Any questions about that? I can show, and then you can go back
And
and
do you,
I
yeah,
can
that's what I was wondering about, you going back to old Facebook then. Do you prefer then to keep it in old Facebook?
I do, just because it's what you're used to. You know what I mean? It's not that it's bad or anything. They're very similar, but you're just used to it. So if you go back, do you see the triangle is up in the right-hand corner again? I just click that and I'll go to, sorry, your guys' faces are in the way, so I need to move. I would switch to classic Facebook. So I just click that and it'll go right back. Like I said, sometimes I mess with the new Facebook just to get used to it. But at the same time, I feel like I can go faster when I know the classic Facebook.
Okay.
I don't see that.
So I think that's really it with that.
That was really good. I don't see the classic Facebook thing.
It was the carrot thing?
Yeah.
Okay, and this,
Can we
I
go
believe, is Cassie as well.
Yes, it is. So I in this part too. So
Yeah.
I'll have Katie, I'll tell you when to stop sharing in just a minute. Basically, we were just talking about looking at your personal business, and it is so important to know your numbers, and it can make a really big impact in your goals. It can make a big impact just for you to acknowledge your numbers and know where to improve. And so we talked about something that you can share. I know Sue shared this with us, so I feel like I should almost share it, but she has folders that she would do in her in-home parties and have a penny put in them. And so she would always talk about it being a penny for your thoughts. And Sue, you can interrupt me if I'm not saying this correctly. But you either, spend your money as a customer, right? Save money as a host, or make money as a consultant. So that is an easy way to talk about recruiting. And I could see that being recreated in your virtual parties. You could post a picture of the penny and just say a penny for your thoughts, and share the kit and share how much the products are on the kit. We talked about that last week. It's really only $10 a product in the kit. So why not give it a try? So obviously the most important things when you're a new consultant, in your 30 days, the 9, but if you have people on your team, it's also important to know when their 30 and 90 days are to help them reach their goals, which ultimately also help you too. I'm going to show you guys those numbers here in just a minute, but I'm a person that has to close the window by looking at the slide, and then I'll go to our numbers. So there's 3 different kinds of income that you have in your business, right? So for today, as soon as you make personal sales, you're going to get that paycheck, right? And you want to get those bookings. If you don't get those bookings, how are you going to keep those paychecks coming, right? So you got to get those bookings. Plus, you guys think about that. That helps that host get even more. Why wouldn't you team up with your host to have them help you get bookings, but also help them get more rewards? And then for the future, get recruits. I always think about it this way though. Whose life could you change? I think that is the most rewarding part of doing this is seeing people being successful on our teams and seeing what they're getting from it and seeing that their lives are getting changed. But those recruits are like your savings account and your future income, because the more your team grows and it just keeps growing, you're going to be earning more income. So I'm going to show you here in just a minute. Thank you, Katie. Oh,
Good.
I'm looking
I
at
jumped
the.
again.
Oh, you're good. I'm looking at the chat questions really quick. Yes, you cannot do the message thing from your phone. If you do all of your business from your phone, what you need to do is go to Google and search for Facebook Desktop. And so then you can actually do Facebook like on a computer. And it's not an app, it will be in your web browser. And so you could do it that way. So you Google search Facebook Desktop, and you can do your phone exactly like you would on a computer. How did you put the dates on your cover photo? Use Canva. And I just create new things there. So I
And
think that's
actually,
it.
how to create a Facebook cover in Canva is one of the training segments on our virtual PC team training. So
Yes.
they can watch that one.
So I'm going to share my screen, you guys. Give me a moment. Right before I got on, I was working. So I'm going to go to sign in real quick and show you where to look at your numbers. Okay, so this is Consultant Corner, obviously. Go to Reports and Tracking. Wow. Hopefully you guys see good numbers of mine, right? And go to Consultant Connection Summary. Feel like I should put Jeopardy music on while it's loading. Okay. So there's a couple places here. I like looking at performance details. And here you can scroll down. And you see right here where it says sales. And obviously they have month to date and year to date. So you can kind of look at both of them. But you can easily look at the average number of orders per show is a big thing too in your sales average. So my average number of orders per show for my cooking parties, as you guys can see, 1.1. So an easy thing that you can start doing, I will say I've done this. I mean, it's always better to work smarter instead of harder, right? And so I used to work full time. And so there's only a certain number of days that I could leave my house. I could only handle so much. So I needed to make sure that the parties I was doing were pretty awesome, right? So I always would strive to at least get 10 orders. And I've always, and so now, obviously, I need to, so maybe I want to start getting 12, 13 orders. You guys have to realize, too, that sometimes people combine orders and things like that, so that may skew the data a little bit. Looking at your sales average, maybe you want to give a bonus to the hosts that get parties that are over $7. Do a bingo or something, but looking at your numbers and knowing your average sales, number of a show, and then even, I'm really bad about putting my bookings in the right way, you guys, as you can tell, but even looking at if you would divide your sales average, okay, so if I would take $733.39 real quick, 733, $0.39, divide it by that 10.1. My average order is $72.51. Okay, so that makes me question, like, my average order should be higher than that. I should be maybe I'm not offering the guest special enough. Do I need to go and make sure I know that you're $5 away? What can I do to improve it? Break it down and work out your goals that way. Trying to think what other so these are the big numbers. And you guys, I want to also strive to have you look at even the reports, but you can see that in all of your team's things. But if we go back and consultant connection report, there's so much there. I'm not going to go through everything right now, but I challenge you guys to even just go ahead and look at what's all available there. There's so much, not just for you, but for your team to look at. And it's being really slow right now.
You could have
Marie's really good at looking at.
I look at sometimes I feel like I have a problem. How many times a day I'll go and check today's sales report. I love looking at prior year comparison.
Yeah,
How am I doing? How I'm doing compared to last year. Party average, total career sales, all kinds of things. It really does give a snapshot.
And it's always good to look at those because you don't, like, for instance, if you're working towards excellence, like, I'm really close to getting it for recruiting, and I'm not going to miss it by one recruit. Like, you want to make sure you're looking at all of those things. So I'm going to show real quick, if you do go to that consultant connection summary again, it's so that you're aware. Maybe. See, the Jeopardy music would be great.
To all hum it together.
There we go. I don't know, but there's a button where you can click for excellence. There's other ways you can go in there, but it's all there. And then I have a friend that is a director, and I just saw this because she added me to her director page, or her team page. And she talks about what her sales were, or what the team sales was last April. And they always try to beat the last year in that month sales. And so I thought, oh, I should start looking at that. Like, that's really a cool idea. So guys, I'm not going to make you wait, but look at that year, the prior year comparison. I print mine off in beginning of January, just so I can really analyze my numbers. But it is so powerful to look at that, because you may think, oh my gosh, I've had $1,000 parties lately, and then look at your sales average and wonder, where can you improve? What can you do? So I'm going to stop sharing and let Katie go back to sharing. But let's see. How and when are those reports updated? Home office does all that for us. We don't worry about it.
Every day by 10 a.m.
Yep.
Once a day.
Okay, so this is Peggy.
All right, Peggy. Let me unmute you.
Okay, I unmuted myself. I had to find myself because I had myself minimized, and I was just saying you, Marie. Okay, so what we want to do is make our contacts daily. Contacts are really something that are very, very important to our business. Reaching out to people, kind of stretching. You see that little dog down there stretching out of your comfort zone. A lot of us don't like either making phone calls. Nowadays, we don't actually need to pick up the phone like we did long time ago, we can text people or we can message people, but you really do want to think about stretching outside of your comfort zone. And reaching out to people every day is going to be something that will help keep your calendar full. So I want you to, while I'm talking, I want you to brainstorm a little bit and put in the chat, sound off some of the different types of contacts that you can name. What different groups of people can you think of that you can contact? And while you're doing that, I just want to say you do want to not have contacts just from one category. For instance, like you wouldn't want to just contact all of your family. If you think about the different types of contacts being spokes in a wheel, you're going to have a pretty flat wheel if you just get all of your contacts from one area. So let me just see what people have been saying. Okay, so family, friends, church, past customers, hosts, Frank's List. Yep, I'm going to go over that in a minute. Daycare, excellent. Sports events, stores, excellent. Any contacts that you might make, people that you know from, maybe it's a grocery store or some other kind of store that you go into a lot. Coworkers, yeah, that is really, really great. The Frank's List here, Sammy had mentioned Frank's List, and you'll see that there. So the F, it's an acronym. The F stands for friends, and then they might be one of the first people that you think about. And then R is your relatives. A is acquaintances, and they're acquaintances. So who would be acquaintances? So you could think of people from the doctor's office or dentist's office, nail salon, hair salon, maybe from exercise class, maybe people from church, different things like that. Kind of, you know, I mean, they could overlap into the friends thing too, but that would kind of be your thoughts on acquaintances. And then neighbors. And then this is good. Think about not just your present neighbors, but think about your past neighbors as well. How many places have you lived in your life, and how many people are you still in contact with? Some people say, think about your Christmas card list too. Or I guess nowadays people don't have a book with phone numbers in it, but well, I still do, but you could go through a book like that if you had one. And then contacts that you have through your kids, friends, parents. Maybe your kids are involved in sports or soccer or music or judo class or dance class or something like that. So you have contacts that way through your kids. And then actually the S stands for spouse or significant other. So contacts that you would have through that person, maybe their coworkers, their family, their friends, different things like that. So that's the Frank's List. And we are going to post a little bit later on. There's a training by, I believe she's an executive director named Stephanie Richardson, and she had looked at her business and she wasn't having as full a schedule of parties as she wanted. So she kind of looked at things and she started making contacts. The company encourages us to make 15 a week, which might sound like a lot, but that's just 3 contacts a day. And she found that when she did that, she averaged getting 2 parties a week. But if you really want to step things up, think about upping that to 5 contacts a day. And what Stephanie had gotten was she averaged 4 parties a week. So, and Cassie had just talked about this, where she actually had kind of an empty schedule because at the beginning of, I think she said April, because of the COVID COVID-19 situation and whatever. So she started reaching out to people. Now, just remember, a contact is a two-way communication. So it is you getting a yes, no, or maybe from the person. So it's not just copying, pasting something to 50 people. It's the 5 or 10 people that get back in touch with you that make the contacts. And what kind of contacts can you make? They can be contacts for bookings. They can be contacts about the business opportunity. You could be answering a product question. You could be answering a question or offering a recipe to somebody. They could be customer care calls. Hey, did you get your products yet? Did you get your order yet? Have you opened the box? You might have heard the term an out of the box call. Are you using your products? A lot of people actually order stuff and then they don't use it. So encouraging people to use their products, then following up with them. Do you have any questions? That type of thing. And so Stephanie, if you listen to that call, it's a YouTube that you'll listen to. The first 6 minutes are really about making contacts for bookings, and then I think the next like 10 minutes or so are about her making contacts about recruiting messages to add people to her team. So listen to the first 6 to 17 minutes on that recording. And then what you want to do is you want to keep track of your contacts. So one of the things that we sometimes do is we think, oh, well, yeah, I think I made contacts, but you don't know because you didn't actually write them down. So whether you're a paper person and you want to use maybe a spiral bound notebook, or you're a person who's real techy and you want to do a spreadsheet, or however you want to do things, you do want to keep track of that so you know how many contacts you are making and what your response is. And then as Stephanie talked about, she would, if she wasn't getting a good enough response to what she wanted, she thought about, well, do I need to tweak the words that I'm using, or do I need to make more contacts? So that's going to be something that's really important for you. And then for the people that say, no, not right now, you definitely want to have a tracking system. Again, whether it's you're using an Excel spreadsheet or some kind of something on the computer. I'm not familiar with those because I'm a paper and pencil person myself. Or you could get a little file box with 3x5 cards in it, and then get the January through December, and then somebody says, oh, contact me in the fall or contact me in the summertime. You can write their information on a 3x5 card, put it behind the little June or September a divider, whatever. So that way you are not forgetting about people. And maybe you want to use different colored, even 3x5 cards for people who might be recruits, potential recruits for you, so you can distinguish between the booking recruits or the regular, the booking or the recruiting people. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you, and I think I have covered everything, so we can go on to the next slide unless somebody has something different.
Okay, so just let me know if we have any questions in the chat for what Peggy was saying. We've got so much good information. We respect your guys' time, so we're trying to go through everything because we have kind of a meaty night tonight. So this is some examples of how you can communicate 2 ways, through Facebook and through social media. And there's different kinds of contacts outlined here. The first one is during a party, and this was one of my hosts. What I did is on the party, I reached out and I said, hi, Sheena, this is the Pampered Chef Lady, and I just wanted to thank you for joining in on Juana's party. We appreciate your support. And then I asked her if she enjoyed the party and the recipes. And of course she responded. And so that's how I opened the door to start a conversation with her. And I offered to host an awesome party with her too. And there's a little bit of hesitation because she wasn't sure if anybody would participate. But of course I did my best to allay those fears, as we do when we encounter objections. And then she ended up having a $400 party with me, so she was super happy. So that's what you can do, an example of what you can do during a party. You also want to reach out to people when you receive an order. And this next message is from Sue. And this is what Sue sends out whenever she gets an order on her website. She reaches out to them right away to thank them for placing an order and ask them if they would like to have an online party. And then she also mentions fundraisers. So this is a great way to open the door to communication. And if you're not really used to talking with the person, this will start the conversation with them. Cassie also has a message over here. So when you're about to close the show and someone hasn't ordered yet, you want to still reach out to all of those people who were in the party, because you don't want anybody to be sad that they missed out. And that's also a great way to open the door to communication. And so in this example, she's reaching out to anybody that hadn't ordered yet. And then the last one here is a way you can reach out to your host, 5 different ways you can reach out to your host during the party when you're talking about joining Pampered Chef. So these are just some great examples of 2-way communication that you can do during your shows. If you guys have any other times that you would send a message you want to
Some people may not be able to see the words on there, so I don't know if you want to like read maybe what a warm up. On the previous screen, it talked about the warm up. We skipped over that.
No, that'll be the next screen.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to go ahead and go to the next screen, which is where we're kind of talking about social media and social warm up. So in addition to messaging, personal messaging throughout a party, the important, I guess I could have put that other slide first looking at this. So social media is for being social, and I'm kind of passionate about this because there are a lot of negative stigma around direct sales and marketing, and you kind of contribute to that when you do all salesy things on social media and you're not engaging in the social aspect of social media, which is what's really, really important. Has anybody, and go ahead and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but have you ever made a post on Facebook asking if someone would like to host a party? Maybe it was even in one of your own parties, but then nobody responded to it. It was just crickets, and you're like, man, nobody wants to book a party. So I kind of liken that to, I mean, would you stand in the front yard and shout out, hey, who wants to host a party with me? No way. There's no way we would do that, because nobody would hear us, nobody would respond, and they'd kind of be wondering who the lady yelling in her front yard was.
It's such a great analogy, Katie. I had a laugh out loud when I saw that. No, we wouldn't do that. And people in the chat is saying, I'll just keep myself muted. So sorry about me. But yes, people are agreeing with you.
Oh, good. Oh, good. I'm not quite sure what's going on with the audio there from Marie, so I'm sorry, but I'm glad that you guys are agreeing with me, because that would be kind of silly, right? So this is how we're transitioning now. We're virtually in people's living rooms with our virtual parties, and we're virtually hanging out with our neighbors. This is their virtual front yard. So you're not going to stand on their front porch and shout at them. That's the same reason you wouldn't go post on their wall, hey, would you like to post a party? But what you can do, I mean, people are on social media to be active. So I love this example that Peggy brought up, it's from Grace Bot. And so what she's doing is something called social warm-up. And social warm-up is when you're intentionally posting conversation starters on your profile that are going to get people engaged. So this is a great one. So who's stuck at home with the kiddos for the next 2 weeks? Drop a gift below that best describes how things will go down. People love dropping gifts. This is what I would call low risk engagement. because a lot of times you have friends that are lurkers, they see your posts in their news feed, but they never comment. But a lot of people see them even though they don't say anything. So a low risk engagement post like this is an easy opportunity for somebody to participate without really having to put themselves out there. So if you say something like drop a GIF, drop an emoji, shout out below with a comment, a lot of times you'll get something on that, even if it's just a yes or a no, from people that you might not normally hear from, because they can just throw that answer out as they're scrolling through their news feed. But what that gives you the opportunity is to see who is actually watching your posts, who's out there seeing your posts. And then you can use that to transition to a way to open the door for a more natural conversation. And so what Grace does with her messages is she takes it private. So maybe somebody responded to her post and she hits them up in the inbox like, hey, I have something that may totally interest you. You want the scoop? And then she waits for a response. When they say yes, she says, so with all the craziness going around, I'm offering Cabin Fever virtual parties. It's for everyone who needs to escape all the chaos with their friends and just have fun over a week or so with great recipes. To use up that food in the pantry and see some great products and have fun, especially with games, and have some laughs. I'm getting a great response from folks already. Post okay below if you want to get in on this. And this is something that you would send not right away. You wouldn't just drop that in their inbox, but you might start a conversation with them after they post a GIF on your post. And you say, oh, I know that Susie just dropped this gift, and I know she's got a 6-year-old at home that she's homeschooling. So I'm going to go send her a message. Hey, how are you hanging in there? Is your house totally crazy right now with everything that's going on? And then you start chatting, and then you can follow up with a message like this. I have something that might interest you. And people are going to be much more likely to respond, much more receptive, and you have effectively warmed them up to the conversation. So it's not just a cold message, and you're not surprising them with a random post about, would you like to host a party in the middle of the news feed? So if you can kind of see the difference between these, then just give me a thumbs up or a chat, or a yes in the chat, if you can kind of understand the concept of social warm up versus posting a booking post on your wall. Oops, I have an itchy trigger finger. So, and be fun with your engagement questions. You can ask a million different kinds. In fact, I'd love to hear your ideas for some that you guys are using already. Think of the ones that you post. What's for dinner tonight? Or is anyone else dying of boredom right now? One of the ones I posted that got a whole lot of response was, so has anybody realized that they no longer know what day of the week it is? And people were just commenting all over the place about how they had forgotten what day of the week it is. And, when you work from home a lot, you're kind of used to that, but a lot of people are surprised now to find out that they lose track of time so easily when they're at home all the time. So reach out to your active friends who comment on these fun posts. There's a lot of fun engagement posts out there, and you can use this or that type post, any type of post to get the chatter started on your wall. And for those of you who don't know, Facebook loves this kind of stuff. It makes the algorithm happy, and the Facebook overlords will love you. So post out there, get the conversation going, and do it often. And you don't always have to comment with them about sales, but it keeps you at the top of people's news feeds. And because you're interesting, they're going to want to see what's happening on your page. If you're only posting about your business, maybe they won't want to be so interested. But if you're fun and you're posting engaging things, and oh man, what crazy thing is she talking about today? People are going to come search you out. So there's no magic wand to get bookings. The power is entirely within you. And that's Glinda. That's our little reminder right there. But to warm up your friends with authentic engagement. And so we're going to move to Sue to talk about why we want to book a full maid.
All right, so again, being aware of time, I'll run through this quickly, but I want to thank all of you for, first of all, committing and being here tonight. And we've kind of come full circle on some of the things that we talked about last week. So I love how Cassie talked about knowing your numbers. If you remember last week, the power of one. And Marie did an amazing video today on P-Chef Team talking about some things going on in April, which will lead beautifully into May. So first of all, I just want to remind all of you, if you have not caught Marie's video, the Enrichables that are on sale, that is a hard close on Thursday night, April 30th. And then the $20 sale items that are going on right now, you can carry a show into May as long as it's dated in April, and those sale prices will still be honored. So we have 3 days left in this month, so we can have April shows going on, but there is a real good reason why you want to focus on May. So for those of you, first of all, who have been in the business a year or more, a great way to do customer care and to get a booking is to touch base with your May 2019 hosts and ask them if they would consider having an anniversary show, because you do not want them to lose their past host discount benefit. So that's a great way to reach out and have that conversation. Now, I want you to pay attention to marketing imagery if you haven't been on there recently, because the months of May and June are wonderful because these are our free for all months. Now, I could not find any concrete amounts, but I can tell you from years past, the first level is typically $750, which is a wonderful level to reach because that's the next highest, that's the next level of commission. And you earn new products that will be coming out in September. So that is another reason to make those contacts to get May bookings on your calendar, because you as a consultant, you don't want to miss any opportunity to earn some of these products for free. That is month one of the 2-month free for all. Also, you want to be active. You want to schedule your calendar top heavy for the first part of May, so you earn a paycheck on the 21st for the first 15 days of the month. And then the 7th of the following month, you'll get your paycheck for the whole month of May. So nobody ever wants to miss a paycheck. So that is why consistency is key. You want that mid-month commission check. It's a beautiful thing when you get paid, and it's a sad thing when you know it's payday and you don't have anything in your account. So make sure you're consistent with your May bookings. Fundraisers are huge, a wealth of information. Please remember to check out STIR because they're always adding more information. But I want to remind you about 2 different fundraisers we have going on right now. So first of all, the Feeding America fundraiser has been extended through the end of May, and Pampered Chef is doubling the donation back to the Feeding America Food Bank. So we can earn 20 to 30% back for Feeding America. Now, again, as we talked last week, some people want to help and they're just not quite sure how. This provides an opportunity. A chairperson for the fundraiser gets the monthly host special. So if anybody's chairing a fundraiser this month, they'd get 60% off the quick cooker or the blender. If you do not know what the host special is for May, you want to print that out. You want to have that in front of you before you start your customer contacts. It is all about cookware and cast iron. And the cast iron, that's getting a lot of buzz right now. The 2 pieces for $99, that's huge. So if someone shares a fundraiser in May, they could enjoy that, but they forfeit all the free and half price benefits. But it's a great way to make a difference for the Feeding America. Now, the second fundraiser opportunity we have in the month of May is we've done Help with Cancer with Hope Lodge, and typically that fundraiser helps people going through cancer treatment, and it provides a shelter, a place for them to stay near the hospitals where the patients are getting care. Because of COVID-19, this year, the fundraiser for Hope Lodge will take care of all the first-line healthcare workers, giving them a safe and close facility to sleep at night so they don't take a chance of bringing anything home to their own family. They can get a good night's sleep and be back at work the next day. So again, if you want to do anything to support and say thank you to healthcare workers, the Hope Lodge fundraiser is running through the end of May. 100% of the Roundup money donated goes directly to Feeding America. So Again, when you're doing your customer care and you ask if anybody wants to round up their loose change, and right now a lot of people are giving extra dollars, and that money goes directly to Feeding America, which is wonderful. Again, I want to remind all of you the Mix and Chop is this featured product for raising money for Hope Lodge, and that's the fastest selling tool Pampered Chef has ever had on the product line. Most households already have one, so be creative with those social warm-ups about graduation, Father's Day, holiday gifts, people budgeting. Maybe you need a second one in your home, but again, it's a wonderful way to start that conversation that could lead into a fundraiser. And as we talked about on some of the previous slides tonight, people are bored at home. They need something to do. They want to bring their friends together around their virtual table, sharing a lot of recipes, using food in their pantries. You want to have a party simply for the fun factor. And so I think I've covered everything as far as why you want to fill your May calendar. But again, check back with your May 2019 host and use the terminology an anniversary party. That should be a booking that we all have when we close a show. We should automatically have the mindset of asking that host, would you like to have an anniversary show? And that's a booking right there. So please do not close your business doors. People are eating. We will never, ever, hopefully ever in our lifetime again, have a situation where all the restaurants are closed. People are cooking every single meal at home. They're realizing what products they do not have in their kitchen. They're realizing what products they want in their kitchen, and we have a service we can provide. So if you have any other additional reasons why you would want to have a show in May, please write them in the chat. That's it.
Before we switch speakers, I just want to say happy birthday to Kathy Bader. Woo!
Thank you. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I get to do the homework again. I hope it's not giving me a bad reputation of being the homework lady, but I kind of like doing it. So first of all, we have a lot of homework this week, but not to scare you because we have 2 whole weeks to get this done instead of our regular 1 week. We need to watch the training from Stephanie about contacts, 25 contacts.
Oh, she's on. Who muted her?
I muted. Someone else muted me. I don't know. So the first 15 minutes is about contacts, and the rest of the call is very good too. So if you have time, listen to the whole call. It goes into how to track recruiting contacts as well. And what I wanted to point out is when you're making contacts, make the most of your time. Like, you don't want to make customer care calls and then make booking calls and then make recruiting calls. It's all one call. Like, when you get someone on the phone, you want to take full advantage of your opportunity to talk to that person, and always ask them first if they are interested in the business. That's where you're going to invite your friends and contacts to the opportunity call that home office does. Then you're going to ask them if they would like to host a party. Maybe they're bored, maybe they want to see their friends, maybe they want to get some products for their kitchen. Then you're going to ask them if there's something that they needed that they've discovered over the last few weeks they didn't have in their kitchen and they would want to make a purchase. And then always close it with you giving them something. You know, find out if you can send them a recipe card or email them a recipe ebook. But those phone calls shouldn't be separated. You shouldn't have booking calls and recruiting calls. It's all one call. It's all talking to your clients or customers and finding out how you can help them one way or another. The second one is to go live with the $20 sale item for the month of April. There's 5 items on sale: the pasta maker, the popcorn maker, the breakfast sandwich maker, the salad bowl, and the utensil set. They always say if you want to get good at something, teach it. I've never gone live before, and so I figured since I had to say that out loud, I better do a live video. And so it made me do one for the popcorn maker, and I'm still alive. Like, I didn't pass out or hit my head or anything horrible. So go live, because the more times you go live, the easier it's going to get. 3 is Dash. Go to Dash and take some classes, increase your number. I found out that when you do certain classes, new classes open up. And so there could be some hidden gems in there that we don't even know about until we take the classes we have to take to get the doors to open. Book 4 to 6 new shows from your contacts that you're making. Like I said, we have 2 weeks this time. So instead of doing 2 to 4 shows, we need to book 4 to 6 shows. You're going to really want those shows for the sellathon. To get level 1, you're going to need to have probably 2 shows. To get level 2, you're probably going to need to have 4 to 5 shows. To get level 3, it's more like 6 to 8 shows. And then if you want to go for the big shebang, you're going to probably want to have 12 shows on your calendar to hit that $6,000 level. And you will love yourself, because you remember when we were earning our spring products. Did you get all the spring products you wanted? Or did you wish you would have got more spring products for free? I always wish I would have got more. And so now's the time when you go for the big numbers. The value of the kit is number 5. I love what Marie said about each product being $10. That's crazy. If you ask anybody if they want a $10 quick cooker, you're gonna get a conversation started. I usually talk about the value of the kit being 75% off. So if you like to shop at a discount, you know, who doesn't like 75% off? And so that's a great way to get people interested in the business. Most of the time, I feel people sign up for the kit. They want the deal of the kit. And then they host a party and they realize that we've got them hooked, because every month there's a different deal. You know, this is a great time to sign people because they're signing up for the sellathon, or what, I don't even know what they call it nowadays. I call it a sellathon. And so they could get new products for free when they're qualifying in May. They're going to be earning those fall products for free too. Number 6 is to make your contacts, and make sure you track your contacts and send those to your director. Weekly minimum of 15, but I say why not go for 25 each week. Number 7, we talked about the opportunity event is on May 6th that home office does. And so when you're talking to all those people, go ahead and invite them to that event. From my experience, I always feel like if you invite 10, 3 friends might show up and one of them will probably sign. So if you want a new team member the first week of May, invite 10 people to the opportunity event and follow up with them, encourage them to go. Don't just ask them that one time, because they're going to forget about it. So remind them, encourage them to go, follow up after the event. Number 8 is register for conference. I don't know if I was in a parade outside during the call. I apologize. So I don't know how much you talked about conference, but it's not going to be some little rinky-dink Zoom meeting or something like a, what's it called, a conference webinar or something like that. No, it's going to be a live stream event, and that's a big deal. And so they're going to have huge announcements, exciting product reveals. They're going to have speakers. I can't believe it, but they're actually going to have things delivered to our house. Like when you register, something's going to be delivered to your house. I don't know what it is. Fun gifts is what it says. So if you want your fun gift and you know you're going to be sad if you don't get one, make sure you register for conference on May the 4th. Because home office is going all out. And you know, as sad as we are that we're not going to Chicago, they're very sad too. So I feel like they're going to really make this something special. The cost to register for a regular consultant is $119. It's only a 2-day event. It's going to be Friday and Saturday, the 10th and the 11th. And if you're a new consultant, it's really amazing because it's only $59 for you to go. So if you signed up after conference last year, after July 1st, then you can get in at that $59 rate, which is crazy awesome deal. And so make sure you sign up for sure. And then number 9 is to know your numbers, which I think I got to hear her explain that. And so I 100% agree. You can just get 2 more orders on every party and change your paycheck drastically. And so that's the one I always focus on, is how many orders per party. Make sure that each order is hitting that $80 free gift amount. And then number 10 is you are the owner of your business, and so invest in yourself. Read a chapter every day. Even little, like I feel like I don't have time to read because I don't really like to read, but we all have a few minutes every day that we can read a chapter from a book. And most of these books on here, like The Energy Bus, I know is like a super easy read. So you can easily read 2 or 3 chapters in no time at all. So if you want to run a successful business, then invest in yourself and learn from these people who are successful. I think I covered everything.
Yeah, well said.
Thanks. Definitely get you all pumped up if you have a parade and then you go, you're like, yes.
All right, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen and we can just kind of talk about things at this point. Marie, feel free to unmute yourself if you want to try and test the audio again.
Do I still sound like Darth Vader?
No, you sound great. I am your father.
I am going to stop the recording only because we finished the content, if that's okay, and we want to keep this as a